G'day fellas, welcome back to Outback Mini Models. It has been a very long time since I've made a video, too long, okay? So I do want to thank to all my subscribers that have hung around. I know it's been a long time. I don't know what happened. So we're back, so no more to explain. But if you follow me on my Facebook page, Outback Mini Models, you would have seen the video that just come out, and I received a package from IckySticky yesterday. So at the time of filming would have been yesterday. Today's Saturday morning. Okay, so I made a purchase last week just because my modeling bug has just come back. It hit me big time. So why are these products sitting here on my table? Okay, these are things that I have wanted, I guess, in my collection of tools and things like that for a very long time. The thing that put me off getting a wet palette was the price. Okay, so I did come across IckySticky. They are one of the commenters on my Facebook page. Didn't know who they were. As I said, if you watch my Facebook video, you'll understand, so go back and watch that. Okay, so I did comment and I didn't know who these guys were. Like I said in that video, I thought they were just they're just modelers, like they just had their own page, but not realizing they're an online store here in Australia. Okay, you can see it there. I've left a little business card on the top of the cutting mat here, just so you can have a look for yourself. I did post a link on my Facebook page, and I will post a link down below, and I will post a link to this product in the description below. So if you are interested after watching this video, go over, check them out, let them know I sent you over. And like I said, I'm not sponsored by IckySticky. They were just really nice to me, giving me a few extra things as a thank you for doing these videos for them. So without further ado, let's have a look. A wet palette by IckySticky keeps paints hydrated for longer. And on the back, it's just a cardboard box, pretty stiff cardboard box, still taped up. I haven't even opened this, okay? So I've saved all this. I want to have a look at it with you guys, and I want to show you my reaction, what this product's going to be like, okay? On the back of the box, it says, delay the natural drying process of water-based paints with IckySticky Wet Palette. Paints stay hydrated for longer, allowing extended time for painting, less wastage, and smooth blending of custom color mixes. Okay, so on the back is an inventory of what is included. It's got the storage case, it's got 2 times hydro sponges, so obviously that's where you put your water, and that soaks up the water and keeps the water inside, keeps your paints wet. Okay, you've got hydro cloths. I don't know what they are yet, because like I said, I've never owned a wet palette. I've only made my own in the past, and they've just been pretty rough. Okay, so, and then you get the 50 palette papers, so which obviously that's the stuff that you put your paint on. The moisture soaks through the paper and keeps your paint wet. Okay, and then for more amazing products, visit www.ickysticky.com.au. There it is down the bottom there. So if you want to get a pen, write it down. There is a QR code. I don't know, it should work, but if you just pause the video and just scan the QR code, it should take you straight there. Okay, so on the side of the box, you've just got the IckySticky logo plastered all over the place. So let's have a look. Let's get the knife out. Let's crack it open. I hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. I know I am, because I've got a lot of goodies on the bench to show you. Okay, so we're greeted with an instruction manual. Okay, IckySticky Wet Palette, designed to delay natural drying process of water, base paint like. So if you want to pause the screen, have a look. Hopefully I'm holding it still enough to for you to read. And it's got the set includes inside the inventory and the directions below. Okay, so place 1 hydro sponge in the bottom of the storage case. We get 2, so you obviously get spares. You get a heap of spares in this box. On top of this, place 1 hydro cloth, thicker textured paper. Tip water in the middle of a used cloth, sponge will wet, add more water excess until just sits at the top of the cloth. Okay, place 1 palette paper, smooth glossy paper on top with hydro cloth, laying it down with one and the other, let the paper absorb water. The ends will curl up first, but as the paper absorbs the water, they will flatten out. If you find the paper is curling up and forms wrinkles, you do not have enough water on the cloth. Remove the paper, a little bit more water and replace paper. Now that all water to small surface, make contact with the water. Okay, so what they're saying is don't go too skimpy with the water, and so I'm going to put a little bit in there, fill it up till it starts touching the cloth, and then put your paper on top. Okay. Now place down and smooth. Tip out some of the excess water. The sponge is fully wet. Excess water has done its job. Okay. So let's have a look at this. Okay, so in the box, this looks like. Okay, so this feels like your cloth. So you get 20 of these, and this is your palette paper, and you get 50 of these. Okay, you can buy spares on the IckySticky website, or wherever you get IckySticky products from wherever you are around the world. If you don't have them where you are, you might. I do know that B&A Model World does sell this stuff, and if you can get it directly through IckySticky.com. Okay, so you've got this really nice little container. Okay, that's your wet palette. Okay, so got a clip lid on it, so when you do shut it, keeps all the moisture in. You got one sponge, so I'll get rid of this box. Okay, so you get one sponge, two sponges. There's your palette. That's what you actually use. When you're not using it, you shut it up and put it wherever, and then just keep your paints hydrated for quite some time before your paint dries out. Because you know me, if you've seen my videos, I'm a sucker for using these medicine blisters, and they're great for mixing paint, but they're not so effective when it comes to wet blending and things like that. Okay, they're used for everything, oils, acrylics, and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, and then when they get dirty and full, I just throw them out, and you get more. I've got a heap of these in my bag, in a bag behind me in the storage cupboard. Okay, so these are, let's have a look. So what we'll do, we'll set this up. Okay, so open this up, and then we'll put this one away because we only need one. These are your sponges. And then, okay, how is this? Okay, so this is just going to be a rip job, not one of those resealable plastic bags. No, I don't think so. So it's just going to get a pair of scissors, so we're going to lay down our sponge like that. It's quite thin, okay, as you can see. Get rid of this plastic, and these. Okay, so be careful with the paper and the cloth. The cloth has a resealable tag on this side here, and the paper ones have a resealable tab on the top. Okay, so we're just going, oh, it's a full fold open. There you go. So it's not just that, you actually got to open it up. And then, so we're going to just move this palette over here for a second. Carefully pull out a piece of paper. Okay, so it just feels like, I don't know what kind of paper it is, guys, but it does feel like just high quality baking paper, almost like a grease-proof paper type thing, like a cooking paper. But it is very glossy and very slippery, okay, for that very reason, for paint. And then we get, as I said earlier, we get the short side. Carefully open it up, because I do want to reseal these and put these back in the box. And these are very cheap to replace on their website. So if you want to stock up and do a bit of overkill, and have these in backup, and just throw them in the box, so then when you put these back on your shelf, you've got all these spares, and then having it in this box, you know where to find it all. Okay, so we're going to close this up. We're going to close this up. We're going to throw this back in the box. Okay, and we're going to lay down the cloth And what's it say in the instructions? Does it say any particular way to lay it down? Laying down from one end to the other, let the paper sit. So it doesn't really say which way to lay the cloth, I guess, because there's one, you can feel it, like it's hard to see it on camera, guys, but once you feel it, there's one side that's actually smoother than the other. Like this side's actually sort of a lot more coarser than the other side, so I'm thinking it doesn't really matter at this stage. So we just lay it down. I'm going to grab some water. I always carry just a bottle of water in my room. It's just for whatever I need to use it for. So we're gonna, hopefully I'm doing this right. Okay, so just gonna put it down, and it's only just to touch the cloth. Okay, that's what it's saying. It's like you don't have to fill this right up and flood it, because the idea is the moisture is gonna wick up through this sponge, keeps this cloth wet. So you can see I'm putting water in it, and it's like still not even showing up on the bottom of this container here. It's still wicking up through the sponge. So we're just gonna keep going. Okay, now I can start to see the water coming through the bottom. Okay. Okay, that's probably a little bit too much water. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tip some of this back in this bottle without making a mess. Hopefully I don't spill it all over the bench. Okay. So if you find the paper kind of absorbs the water that leaves. Okay, we've done that. Hopefully I'm doing this right, guys, because this is the first time I'm actually using a proper wet palette. I've made mine own in the past, but they've always been, you know, a bit how's your mother type thing. All right, so hopefully that's enough water in there. I might just put a bit more in there. So what I'm going to do is just going to get a pair of tweezers, lift this up, dump some more water in there. Not much, too much. Okay. So you can see as I float this around, I don't know if the camera picks it up, but if I float it around, there's still a little bit of water floating around the bottom, and I think that's how much we need. Okay, because I still want that sponge wet, but I don't want so much water in that it's actually coming up above this wet palette, because that's gonna completely defy the purpose of what we're trying to do here. It's just keeping this paper wet. So we're gonna leave it for a little bit, and we're gonna come back. Okay, so I'm giving this probably about 5 minutes. Okay, so during that meantime, off camera, I've gone up to my paint rack and I've selected probably the most common paints I use here in the studio. Okay, so when it comes to acrylics, so I've got the Humbrol acrylics here. All right, I don't know the code, so 26, it's some kind of brown color. I wish Humbrol would actually put the actual, what the name of the paint is, instead of just the colors, because I hate that. And I've got a opaque Vallejo game color. Okay, it's a heavy blue. All right, so, and then I've got a foundation paint that I've had for a very long time by Citadel, and it's Fenris Grey. And finally, I have the SMS Infinite color. It's the Ozcam green. It's a flat color. It's probably one of my favorite colors they do. All the other colors, they have a gloss, but when it comes to like Australian military vehicles, this color's beautiful. So I've already given them a buzz with my Vortex mixer. That over to the side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip this open. All right, and I'm I'll zoom in a bit for you so you can see what's actually going on the palette. And it's gonna be pretty hard because it's been a while since I've actually done stuff in front of a camera. Alright, so, and of course, I've got my water pot to the side. And I'm gonna give it a quick buzz. Alright, so I've thrown a little ball inside this, and all they are the AK steel shakers that I throw in most of my paints. Yeah, don't use any kind of ball bearings, guys, if you're going to throw them in your paints, because they will rust and they will destroy your paint. So make sure you get like proper stainless steel, marine grade steel ball bearings if you are, so they don't rust. Okay, so hopefully I can do this without. And you can feel the palette, like it's actually damp. It's not saturated where you put your finger on it and it's like it's wet. Okay, all it is, it's just I guess it just stops it from, you know, just drying out, keeps it slightly damp. You don't want it too wet, because otherwise your paint just disintegrates into, like, if you've done it before, which I have, you put too much water underneath, it just bleeds and it's just not a good look. So we're gonna put a bit of this on here. Okay, this is just the Citadel paint. I'm going to flick a bit on this palette, clean the brush. Just get some paper towel to the side so I can dry the tip of the bristles. I'm just going to lay these paints off to the side in order so I know which one's which, okay? And then I've got this game colour. And these are one of the paints I picked up from Scar Autos. And good news, if you are like a local up here and you're wondering where the store is, it's just gone on holidays for a while. There's going to be a new store opening up. Hopefully next month, I believe it is. It's going to be in the same complex, but just on a lower level. What I've been told, okay? So, Shane, if you are watching, I hope you're enjoying your holidays, because you definitely deserve it. You work way too much. So we've got brown, I've shaken up, put that. So just a bit of brown. More. Why not? We'll put a bit more on there. Alright. Put the cap back on as always. Because the floor below this table is carpet, so I really don't want to spill paint on carpet. Clean this off. Right. So our test dummy. What's our test dummy going to be? It's just going to be an old Carnosaur, I think, that I had back in the old days of painting Warhammer figures. So for the time being, this will be the test dummy. All right. And you're probably asking, do I need to add thinners to this? You probably can, okay, it's up to you. But just for this video, I'm just gonna test it and then see how these paints react on the wet palette without adding any water. And I'm not, like, this is not a painting tutorial, guys, so if you're thinking this is a painting tutorial how to paint Warhammer figures, this is not it. This is just to show you like a quick look at and my reaction and opinion of what this palette is going to do for me in here. But I mean, I'm pretty happy. And then once I've done this, I'm going to hit the pause button. I'll probably come back in about 10-15 minutes and then we'll see what this paint's doing, because normally, remember, I've got no retarder in this paint, I've got no extra thinners, because I don't want to show you, you know, I don't want to change the effects of the paint and the properties of the paint by adding different mediums to it. I just want to show you what it's like straight out of the bottle, straight out of the pot, with this wet palette. And then, yeah, and then you can decide for yourself whether it's for you. okay, but so far I'm pretty happy, because normally by now, even after a couple of minutes, I'd have paint sort of starting to dry up on the outer edges here. Right, so and then we get this this Vallejo paint here, so you can just really spread it out. And I'm just going to do paint really rough. Like, this is rough, guys. I'm not trying to be careful or anything, okay? So don't shoot me for it. This is just, I'm just trying to see what this paint does and how it behaves on a wet palette compared to what I'm used to seeing with how I do it. Okay, so, and then just for giggles, I'm gonna keep this brush wet. I've just pulled it out of the paint pot. You can see there's a bit of water on there, so I'm going to add a bit of water to that mixture I just had there. You can see that it's beating up, which means it's heavily diluted, and I can also turn that into a wash just like that. And being a wash, or a filter as you'd call it, it's not going to dry up on you really quick, okay? So far, so good. Leave that there. Give the brush another clean off. Dip it in some paper towel on the left. And then this one here is the Citadel foundation paint. Okay. And then we're just gonna do it on his side here. Right, and then just gonna, I don't know if you can see that. And the same deal again. I'm just going to dab some water on the bottom. The water's pretty dirty. I do have a new paintbrush cleaner coming, or paint pot thing, whatever you want to call it, coming in the mail. Hopefully it's supposed to be, it should be next week, but there will be I'm pretty excited about this actually, so I'll show you that when it gets here. But for now, I'm pretty excited about this. So same color, we've just added some water to it, but being a foundation paint, it's a very high pigment product, so I mean you can thin this quite a fair way before you start turning this into a wash or a filter. So we're just going to add some more water to it, really thin it down, and I'm just going to go further up here. You can see the difference. That's pretty much straight with a bit of water, and that's got a lot of water in it. And I'm just going to wick up some of the pooling in here. So that's more of a filter than a wash, if anything. Okay. And then finally, we'll go on his neck, eh? So we're going to use this. This is the SMS Infinite Color, the Ozcam Green. I mean, like, even just these dollops of paint sitting on this palette for as long as they have, it's probably been like, I don't know, real time, 5 minutes maybe. And I've got no, like I said, I've got no retarder or nothing in it, and they haven't even started to dry up. Like, they're still wet, which is exactly what I want. So, and then give us a clean. Add some water down the bottom. More dirty paint water. And just get it, mix that up. So you can see like the surface tension on this paper, like the paint just wants to bead up into a drop, doesn't want to spread. And then do it on the back of his neck. So you can see it now, it's turning into more of a wash slash filter than anything when you add water to it. Okay. Look, my first reaction is like I'm really happy how the paint's behaving on this palette. It doesn't seem to be drying up. I'm guaranteed. I mean, you try it for yourself. And I'm in Australia, guys. It's actually a really hot country to be in. So, and my paint normally goes off quite quickly. I've normally got to add things like the AK drying retardant to all my paints whenever I'm painting, even down to like the Tamiya acrylic retarder when I'm painting, because otherwise I just get the chalkboard effect when I'm on my models, and my paint just, like, I'm wasting paint pretty much when I've got paint on the palette. Having this wet palette here in front of me, I think it's going to save me a lot of money. It's going to save me a lot of heartache. When, say, for example, I get a phone call or something happens, I've got to leave the house, come back, my palette's still going to be wet when I get here. So, I mean, it's worth the money in the long run, I guess. Like, it's going to save me from having to use more paint, waste paint, especially today as well with the cost of living going up. That seems to be on everyone's agenda at the moment. I mean, look, I'm going back to this Vallejo game color. It's still wet. It's not even starting to skin up or start to dry. I'm really happy with this. So the guys at IckySticky, thank you very much for this. You've got a good product. You've got something that I'm going to be using a lot, and I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing me using this. But like I promised at the end of the video, I'm just going to pause this and I'm going to come back. So even just blending colors, like I'm using, what was that? That was the SMS being blended with the Vallejo. I didn't have much SMS, Ozcam paint down, so it's more of a, it's only changed the tint of the paint slightly, because I didn't really have a lot there. Alright, so we're just going to leave that, and like I said, just so there's proof. Alright, take a screenshot if you want, okay? So you know I haven't altered the paints at all. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just hit pause. I'm going to let this sit on the side. Alright, and I'm going to shut this down. So what I'm going to do, I'll even zoom out, guys, and I'm going to shut this down. All right, I'll leave it down. I look at my watch, it is 11:21. Right, so we'll come back in about 10 minutes and we'll see how the paint is on this wet palette. All right, I'll be back soon. All right, so it has been just a bit over 10 minutes, I think. I can't remember when I last paused this video. But yeah, so let's have a look. I'm gonna open this up. Oh. As you can see, if I bring you right up, the paint on this wet palette is still wet. Okay, none of it has dried. So I'm pretty stoked about how this performs. Okay, so I'm gonna dip my brush and I'm just gonna mess around. So these ones hit, so that, and I think that is a dollop of really just dirty water, painted water. So we're not gonna bother about that. but this here, there's hardly any paint on this. So if this was on a normal, like a dry palette, this would have been dried. This would have just, yeah, this would have already dried up in 10 minutes, because you know how quick acrylic dries. And remember, I don't have any retarders or any additives to this paint. Maybe a bit of water, and that's about it. So, I mean, you can still, the whole thing is still, like it's as wet as I left it before. So, this one here is this. That was the SMS paint. This is the Citadel paint that I had laying around. That's a bit of water. So this is the paint itself. I'll zoom in, but you're not really going to see too much, just me doing that. So you can see that the Citadel paint here is still wet as, all right. And then this one here is the Vallejo, the game color, the extra opaque paint, which is almost like your foundation paint almost, but it's just their high pigment version of their product. It's still wet. The entire thing is still wet. And finally, we got the Humbrol acrylic. Okay, so you can see that just by being wet, it's sort of separated a little bit, but just a bit of mixing brings it all back. Okay, so in conclusion, who would I recommend this this wet palette to? Definitely if you're a figure painter, okay? If you're a figure painter, you're gonna love this. Weathering, if you definitely put like your acrylic washes on there, like your inks, they're just gonna stay there for ages and ages, and you're not gonna have any problems with it. I wouldn't use enamels or anything on this, because definitely don't use enamels or lacquers on this, because water and those types of paints just do not mix. So strictly stick to acrylic paints, water-based paints. I wouldn't even use your Tamiya paints on here, because as you know, the Tamiya's acrylics are a hybrid. They're an alcohol-based paint. They might work. I don't know. You'd have to try that for yourself. I didn't actually use those paints in today's test, so I don't think you should have too much of a problem with Tamiya acrylics. Don't take my word for it though. Don't try it and then shoot me a message and go, you told us the wrong thing, Clem. It's ruined my paint and everything. Try it for yourself, okay? That's all I can recommend. So far, I'm blown away by how this performs. Something so simple and something so affordable can make your paint last you so much longer. Okay, and especially if you mix custom paint colors, guys. If you're in the middle of like blending like a figure, and then you've got to go out, because your child has had an accident, and you've around the house, and you've got to like leave the bench for a while to sort out what's going on, and you come back, your paint's going to be exactly how you left it. So I mean, I love the product, guys. I think you will too. So when you do, go to IckySticky.com, check them out, send them an email, and then just tell them I sent you and you saw this video on Outback Mini Models and you're willing to give it a go. So as always, guys, I appreciate you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I also thank you a lot for even just following me on my Facebook page. So as always, guys, have a great weekend, stay safe, and I'll see you next time here on Outback Mini Models. Thanks, guys. Catch you later. Bye-bye.